We are at the conclusion of this Asian hairline correction, and this gentleman came from another state. His previous transplant, you can see he's just very scattered here. The angles are going all different directions. They go sideways. In fact, he has to shave his hair just so that he can actually have a decent hairline. So he's shaving off all of his previous grafts. What's interesting is that if you look over to the left side, the angles are even more different. They're going almost vertically upwards. So, you know, when you have a right-handed surgeon and he works over onto this side, I'm using my left hand just for illustration because my right hand's holding the camera, you have to be very careful that your right and left sides match, and it's a very different pattern. Also, he's got two hair grafts sitting right up along the hairline, and all these are problematic issues. So this is a redesign for this gentleman, and it should look very, very good for him. What we've done here is I've created about 4 or 5 rows of one hair grafts. The one hair grafts are really going to help soften this. Asian hair typically is very straight, black, and high contrast ratio to the scalp. Why that's important is that it can look unnatural if you don't create enough one hair grafts in the frontal hairline. So this is almost one hair graft right up to where my finger is, tip of my finger. And these are 2 hair grafts. The other problem is when the hair is wet, there's a different shape. So in other words, a different degree of loss, I should say. And so he's got quite a bit of recession in the frontal temporal area. And even in the frontal hairline, you can see his miniaturized hair is going back to here. So he's 41 years old, so it's not critical per se to go too far back, but you always want to prevent and minimize further hair loss. So we've come pretty far back all the way here in the design, especially on the right side. There's a deeper frontal temporal recession. So I've got to come considerably farther back on this side to address the issue for him, and made it a little bit more symmetric. The other thing is, if you think about it, you know, when his hair is wet, the miniaturization has a see-through effect that's there. And so to me, it's very important to look at a hair both dry and wet. And when it's wet, if we didn't go into these zones of miniaturization, it could look like a step off, and it could look like an area that hasn't been transplanted, or in other words, it just doesn't look quite good and dense. So we've done 3 levels of protection. One is his current loss that he has there. Second is the miniaturization zone, and 3 is I've gone behind the zone of miniaturization for future hair loss as well. So this should be a remarkable correction. By the way, we've also spared a few hundred grafts for his donor scar, which was not, it was done, in my opinion, way too high. Also, the donor scar was not, it was widened. So I did a trichophytic closure on the back side to make this incision heal well, and there's a whole long list of things I did to make sure that incision heals well. But we're also placing grafts into the donor scar as well.